Dear YouTube viewers, I am Bandit Mackenzie. I have come to the knowledge that the president of the country of Rwanda has allowed the British government to pay him various amount of money to take into his country of Rwanda various European refugees as residents. This will allow these European refugees to come into the country of Rwanda and corrupt many of the various natives with their sexual immorality of life of all sorts that they have spread around the world of their conquest as a way of life to many people's mind. The funny thing about this story, many people look up to this Amite leader as a great leader of his people of Rwanda. My question to this Amite leader of Rwanda, how can he allow money to sell out his own people of Rwanda for his own gain and interest? How much of this money can he take with him to the graveyard when Yahweh get ready to remove him from out of this earth? These were the same European people who came and colonized and set up what became known as Belgium Rwanda. By putting these two tribes of the area against each other, who became known as the Watusi and the Tutsi, by telling one tribe that they were more intelligent and smarter than the other tribe of the area. The tribe that they did consider as the less intelligent were of the monkey family, and many of the tribe they did consider as the less intelligent were put to work as forced labor of slaves. The other tribe who they did consider as the more intelligent and smarter people were given many opportunities to become successful people compared to the other tribe of the area. This division among these two tribes eventually brought about the genocide of Rwanda that caused 800,000 people to lose their life over this hatred that was set up by these Belgian people of Europe who did plant the seed of hatred in these people's heart. Also, this president of Rwanda forget about the suffering of his people of what was known as Cape of Good Hope by the Portuguese, that later in 1600 became known as South Africa by the Dutch conquest from the Portuguese. Later this land area was taken over by the French from the Dutch and last of all by the British, who came and take away power of South Africa from the Dutch and the French, and did establish their system of rulership of South Africa. This system of the British of what became known as Southwest Africa gave birth to Cecil John Rhodes, who was a British man of South Africa who did establish the country that became known as Rhodesia after his own name. This country of what was known as Rhodesia was known before as Zimbabwe, which was the original name of the land before Cecil John Rhodes named the land as Rhodesia. If this refugee situation was that of many Amite people, who they call as the black people and the African people, they, the people of Europe, would never take in any of these Amite people into their country, even if they were paid to do so. Apart from when the British government needed cheap laborers in the 50s and 60s to come into the country of Britain to work and build up the economy of the country of Britain by paying taxes, because during the Second World War, the country of Germany did cause severe damage to the country of Britain. So there the British government needed cheap laborers to come in from their various ex-slave colonies to come to Britain to work and pay taxes to build up the economy of Britain. But when the economy of the country of Britain was built up and became strong again, many of these migrant workers from their various ex-slave colonies were considered as foreigners and unwanted guests that they wanted to get rid of from their societies of Britain. But when it comes down to many of these foolish Amite political leaders and presidents of the various countries of the land of Ham, they would sell out their own people for the right price, just like how the president of Rwanda did. I've explained before about my experience in the 60s when I was living in Amsterdam and Denmark. Many times when going looking for a room, I would see signs saying European only. The same is true when a dark-skinned person go looking for a taxi. They would have to wait a very long time before they would get a taxi, while a European person would come along and get a taxi right away without having to wait a very long time. So one can see from what I have written of the difference of mentality between the Gentile European people of Japheth and that of the Amite people of Ham, who they call as the African and black people. These political leaders and presidents of the various countries of the land of Ham should look out more so for the interests of their own people of Ham first, before they can extend their charity and love to other people, like the people of Europe and the Chinese people of Shem do. Even when an Amite person tried to enter into their captured lands from the natives that they named as the United States, Canada, and what became known as Australia, these Amite people would have to go through a lot of problem and pressure before they would give them the opportunity to enter into what became known as the United States, Canada, and what is now known as Australia by the conquest of Captain James Cook from the native Aborigines, who was a British man. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me this opportunity to elaborate on this video, because as I said, the truth hurts, but it has to be told, because many of our Amite people, regardless of their leaders or just ordinary people, they're suffering from slavery mentality and colonial stupidity of always trying to run away from themselves and open the door for everybody else but their own people. They need to wake up and stop being stupid people and come to reality and look out for each other. Like Abraham Tory of Burkina Faso. This is the reality. We need to wake up and stop being stupid people. Thank you again, YouTube. Take care.